Hi, this is Johnny Avanti and welcome to another video. Now in this video we're going to be talking about this 2006 Toyota Tacoma. Now this is considered a regular cab and it has a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder engine that gets about 26 miles per gallon on the highway, and it has a 4-speed transmission. You say to yourself, why in 2006 this car had a 4-speed transmission? Because Toyota claims that this 4-cylinder can tow 3,500 pounds. So the reason why they put a 4-speed transmission is so you can tow and haul things around, because this is a work truck. It's not really designed to cruise around, get on the highway. It's designed for guys to work, to get good fuel economy. You know, guys are not going to really, need heavy-duty towing like the Tacoma V6 that Toyota claims that can tow 3,500 pounds, but it has a more beefier suspension, and it could probably tow 3,500 pounds up, steep hills and around mountains. With this, you might have a hard time doing it. But, driving this car or this pickup truck, I found that it's pretty peppy. It's pretty quick. It's pretty quiet. And it has an aluminum head, I believe, and a cast iron block. What that gives you is longevity. That means that with this cast iron block and the aluminum head combination, you're probably going to go with proper maintenance, maintaining the oil, the transmission, all of that stuff. You can easily go 400,000 miles or more with this, if you take it easy with the car and really you don't tow that much and you use the car to a certain limit. You're going to get a lot of life out of this. And this is a pretty good engine in here. Toyota could have easily have put a front-wheel drive engine in this, and they would have gotten a car. This car would have probably got like maybe 30 miles to the gallon, 28 miles to the gallon. So 26 miles per gallon, rear-wheel drive. Now, this is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, and that's what gives you also that 3,500 pounds of towing, is that 4-speed rear-wheel drive with that big axle in the back. And the engine, this little engine could, and it probably will tow 3,500 pounds, but it's going to struggle. Now, I wouldn't tow this, like I said, up and down, mountains. But if you're going to be like a city guy and you're going to make deliveries with this, and you're going to have to tow a trailer, maybe be like a landscaper in a city where it's technically flat, you could get away with this and tow a pretty decent sized trailer and get 22 miles to the gallon, 23 miles to the gallon, versus like a V8 or V6 that you're probably going to get, 10 miles to the gallon, a big truck like that, stopping and going. And that's why this 4-cylinder is such a great engine, because if you're going to be doing a lot of stopping and going, city work, this is the car to get. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at this truck and we're going to say to ourselves, how did this 2006 with 157,000 miles in New York City hold up? Did Toyota build this truck where it only lasted a couple of years, or did Toyota build this truck to last a lifetime for a company who invested in this truck, or even like a daily driver that, some people buy their cars and they want it to last forever? So let's see how this truck held up. And let's take a look around in the interior, the driver's seat, and let's see how it did. So let's take a quick look around and see what the truck looks like. This is the front end. Now, take in mind, this truck wasn't an accident. It had like the right side damaged, but the frame wasn't damaged. The airbags didn't come out, so this truck was not totaled. And it was actually put back in service. I'm not exactly too sure when this truck was damaged and how long it's been since the repair, but it's still on the road. It's 156,000 miles later. This truck is from New York, and you can see like the rear tail lights and all that are pretty good. The plastic looks like it's in good condition, but we're going to take a quicker, more in-depth look at the options that you got in this basic truck. Now, this is the most basic truck you can buy. The headlights, they have that typical wear out from salt and grime and dirt, hard water. you know, weathered headlights, you know, you could easily fix these, or these headlights are really cheap online. You could just replace them and get better headlights that are probably clearer. So let's start where the driver would get in and out of this car every single day, every morning. So let's first start out with the mirrors. So now these mirrors are manual mirrors. There's no power mirrors, there's no power locks in this car, no power windows. Everything is manual, that people are normally used to in their private cars. You know, they have power windows, power locks, power seats, power mirrors, power sunroof. This car has no frills at all. This is probably like a power mirror that Toyota just eliminated all the electronics inside this mirror and any electronics inside the cabin. And what you would do is you would just move the mirror like this, and you can hear the mirror going into different spots. So it's not like the old days when you had a wire, that the wire would move the mirror around into a position that you would want. The other thing too is it's the same style mirror on the on the passenger side, so you would have to get out and set the mirror, you know, bit by bit, so it suits the driver. A good thing that Toyota did is they put, you know, folding mirrors. So these are good to have, you know, in case you got to drive down a tight street, or you just want to fold the mirrors in at night, and that's a good feature. So you can see here how the car, so this is a Tacoma, it had some damage here, and you see some surface rust. So when you see surface rust like this from the damage, and it's not eaten all the way through, you say to yourself, well, this is pretty good metal, it's well treated, because there is no bad rotting on it on this side of the door. If you notice, you'll see like the paint is dull, and that's because Toyota put a pretty bad paint job on this car, and the clear coat is not that good either. I'm not sure if this car was painted before, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's the original paint, and the way you can tell that is if you look up here, like you'll see here in this, that there's a lot of rust, and that's from weathering, you know, the car driving, and people never washing this car and getting this out and waxing it, you know, maybe even putting like a protective film on here that would, you know, stop debris from hitting this and chipping off the paint. You know, there's a little rust over here in the galleys, there's some on the other side, but you could take care of that. I mean, if you bought this vehicle, you could easily, you know, get this painted and fixed up, and you'll have a really good running car, cheap. Because like these cars, they go for about, with low mileage, about still on $10,000. And I bought this car to sell, so I'm gonna fix it up a little bit and try to sell it and make a profit. So another thing I want to show you guys is that whoever owned this truck before constantly lost their keys, so the owner decided to make a cutout here so you can jimmy the lock and open the door, because guys were probably leaving their keys inside the truck a lot. And I don't know how they did that, because there's no power windows and there's no power locks, so that's probably one of the reasons why they did that. But you can see here, this is all like aluminum, and there's no water inside the door because you don't hear it sloshing around. Usually if like there's water that gets stuck inside the door here from like a hole like this, or from the rubber that wears out, you'll hear water sloshing around in here. That's pretty bad. So you can see the door handle, you know, held up pretty good. This looks like the original door handle, and that's not bad, you know, because I'm sure this door was opened a lot. So let's open it up, and the first thing you notice is this tattered armrest. So if I open this up, you'll see that this is broken, and this is one of the faults that Toyota had with this type of truck. You know, I'm not sure if it was all the Tacomas, but maybe this base one, you know, it had this problem that you would put your arm on here, and over time this plastic would dry out and crack, and then you're stuck with this. So you had, you know, one or two options. You could either go out, you know, buy a whole new door panel, or get this repaired. And I looked online and I saw that companies actually sell this part, so you'd have to take the whole door off and there's clips in there that comes off, and then you'll have a new armrest. It'll probably be stronger than this. I don't think this is even salvageable, where you can like go in there and fix it, and it just is too many pieces for it to do that. So, but Toyota did give the driver a lot of cup holders so they can stay hydrated. So you see here, this is another part that you would say to yourself, wow, Toyota did a good job. So this is how you lock the door, like that, with your finger. Open and lock, and it doesn't open and lock the passenger side. So you're gonna have to manually open and close the door for whoever's getting inside the car. So here the door handle has held up pretty good. You know, for 2006, 157,000 miles in New York City, that's like 200,000 miles. You know, somebody opening and closing this door. The door handle here, the window handle held up pretty good, but there's something broken because the window doesn't go all the way down. It goes all the way up, that's good, but it doesn't go all the way down. I think there's a speaker here, I'm not sure, and these speakers here. So Toyota did decide to give the drivers a good sound system. So if you come over here and you look at the door sill, I mean, this side held up pretty good. The door is a little loose, as you can see, like if I close it, you know, it's just a little bit loose off the hinge. You know, that's an easy fix. The door does open up, you know, pretty wide. I mean, if you take a look at that, you know, that's a pretty wide opening, so a big guy could get in there and drive this vehicle. Another good thing that I realized that this car has is a lot of leg room. So I'm 5'11", so if you're like 6'1", 6'2", you can drive this car. It has a telescopic steering wheel, which is good. And taking a look at the steering wheel actually, from the miles that this has and it being a work truck and not a personal vehicle, it held up pretty good. There's no rips, there's no fading, there's no cuts here. So whoever drove this truck for the company, whoever had it, you know, kind of like was pretty good with it. So if you come down here and you look at the carpet was in good shape. These stains are from people leaving the windows open and water getting in here, so that's pretty foolish of people leaving the windows open. There's the emergency brake or the parking brake. You know, you have a little cupboard there to put change or whatever. So another place that you would look for to say to yourself, wow, what makes this car good? You know, like these vents, you know, held up pretty good. You know, these vents tend to break in a lot of cars. Here you have, you know, dimming of the instrument cluster, right? So this held up pretty good. And here are all the buttons that you would normally get in this car if you bought a more expensive Tacoma. This was where the power mirrors would go. Perhaps the, you know, I don't know what all these other buttons would be. Probably for like traction control and all that other stuff. You know, the power windows would definitely go here in the power locks. So so you could add stuff here if you wanted to. So here's a basic turn signal where it just turn the lights on and turn the lights off, and you have the parking lights, and that's it. So you have to remember when you drive this car to get out, to turn the lights off, or else your battery's gonna go dead. But the lights may go out when you turn the car off. I'm not sure if that's the case here. So getting the car, I'm sitting in it, and it looks pretty, I mean, it's pretty comfortable. It's not that bad. I have plenty of leg room. My feet are stretched out all the way, and you can see like the seat goes up and all the way back, and it's got plenty of room, and I would be happy driving this. I kind of like the no frills. Manual windows, manual locks. Hey, you know, what more do you need, right? So let's continue to take a look, see what's going on here. So you can see, like, you know, over time the radio control button fell off, the climate control button fell off, and the air conditioner itself, it does work, but what's going on is it's not letting the air come out of here. I don't know if this handle's broke or what's going on. I have to look into that. You have two power supplies, which is pretty good. You have that big space in there, which is good. You have more cup holders here. Now this is a 3-passenger vehicle, which is pretty good. So you could put somebody in the middle, like a kid, or two adults, or three adults if you're going on a job. And then you have this storage area here, because this car did come with a 5-speed manual transmission. And the reason why you have this cupboard or this little shelf is because that's where the emergency brake went for the manual vehicle. Now I don't know why they don't use the foot brake or the manual parking brake that's in this car that Toyota included with the automatic transmission, that they needed to put that kind of parking brake where you would pull that, you know, go right, you know, turn it to the side, and that locks the brake. So the cabin is pretty nice. I mean, you know, you have your mirror, you have your sun visors with no mirror. So if you're a lady, you're not going to get a mirror. You're going to have to put one yourself. But for the ladies, Toyota decided to give them a mirror, which is pretty good. You know, you have your interior light. That still works on and off. And you can see on this side, the driver also has, you know, cup holders and an armrest. And this armrest here, in fact, is broken as well. It's not completely broken. This could be salvageable with glue, and maybe put, you know, glue something on the here, like a couple of credit cards. That might fix the problem for that. And in here also, there was the window was left open when I got the vehicle, and this was all wet. Now it's all dry. It's been 90 degrees out, so everything evaporated, and it's nice and dry. So like the driver's area, it's pretty nice. I mean, I think it's nice. Like, you know, you have this, you can see here it says 3 drive. So when you're driving around the city, you're probably always going to go right into drive or stay in third, and that's it. You know, that's what you got. And that's why you know, you're getting that, you know, little bit of fuel economy, like 24 miles per gallon on the highway. If this was a 5-speed automatic, you'd probably get 28. You know, maybe, who knows. But, you know, taking a look at, you know, the radio, you know, the radio works. You know, the cluster, it's pretty nice. You know, you have your temperature gauge, your fuel gauge, you have a tachometer, you know, in case this was a 5-speed, people drive with the tach. You have your speedometer and a kilometers per hour. You have your miles, and I don't even know what else is in there. Let's see, you have miles, and you have trip A, trip B, which is good. So you have 2 trips, you know, one to follow your oil changes and one to, you know, write down how many miles you were driving. And you can see this vent is in good shape too. You know, this vent, all the vents are in very good shape. Now, okay, so the other thing you have here is you have a little handle that can help you out of the vehicle. The passenger has a handle as well. And again, that mirror is foldable, and you have to manually adjust it. You have to get out or have your passenger adjust the mirror for you by rolling down the windows. And you have a nice little glove compartment here, which is not bad. You know, it's pretty big, and there's a lot of storage in here. You know, you have that, you could put stuff in. You have the side pockets. So you have this little storage area. You have your change storage. It's dirty, it's not clean, but you know, it functions. Now the other thing I found is in the seat, that if you look at it, I mean, it's a little dirty, but it's not ripped. It's ripped right here. And this is notorious for Toyota, that these seats rip. Now this is a more basic seat. In the more expensive Toyotas, they have a different seat that's like a bucket, and this part here, as you can see, it's tethered, rips as well, and this just ripped. But you could easily fix that. That's not a big deal. You can sew that. And this held up pretty good too. But I think a spring in here has broken, because this goes all the way down. So on the left side, you can feel your cheek is a little deeper than the right side. So let's continue to walk around. So you can see the door closed a little, you know, shoddy. So this truck came with 215 70 R15s. which is good. I mean, 15-inch rims are not bad. You know, somebody painted the rims, which is a good thing. It has drum brakes and front disc brakes. The chassis in this vehicle might have been changed. I'm not sure, because if I look at it from here, I don't see any rust at all. So if I go around and I look in the back, the spare is underneath the bed. The leaf springs are in pretty good shape. The shocks, like this shock housing here, is in excellent condition. This might have had a chassis change, but we're gonna look at that in a later time. So one thing that I fixed, that I hired a welder and they did a shitty job and they freaking cut the metal here. I mean, real morons. So this thing was hanging off and you could see like we just welded it. So now at least the door closes. There's a clip missing right here that this clips into and keeps this closed. So that's one other thing that Toyota is notorious for breaking, are these fuel doors. And even in a lot of high-end Tacomas that cost, you know, like up in the 30s and the 40s, this door breaks, because what happens is people don't maintenance this, grease it and keep it clean, and over time, you know, gas and water and dirt get in here and cause rust, and these hinges rust out, causing the whole door to come off, and that's a problem. But you know, it's fixed and it just needs that clip so this can close, and then, you know, it'll be okay. So you can see the bed, you know, held up pretty good. It's a big truck. I think it's a 6-foot bed. The rear lights are pretty good. Everything works. There's no towing on here, nothing. So whoever owned this vehicle didn't tow with it. They simply made deliveries, or they threw stuff in the back. I really don't know. I think it had a tonneau cover at one time, and it's gone now. It's just broken. One thing that broke was this door handle. You know, it's a little sticky. You got to kind of pull on it, but you know, who knows what that is. If you look over here, this all held up pretty good. You know, there's no rust. The hinges here are loose. That's good. On this side, you know, this is all plastic on here, so it kind of protected the truck, and that's what you need. You know, you need to protect the vehicle with, you know, whatever means possible. You know, this is all painted with a you know, a strong paint. This is a Toyota liner, bed liner. You know, and if you look underneath, you know, it's all wet, because there must be holes somewhere that let this water out, but it hasn't come out. It held up pretty good. There's no rust. It's you know, it did good in my opinion. So Toyota put a lot of, you know, effort into making this little truck sturdy for the people, for the companies or the private owners who want to buy these vehicles. You know, a little simple truck like this works. You know, if you're not going to haul big stuff and you're going to use this for your family or whatever, you know, again, as long as you open this, you know, you got a big bed there. I'm not sure if that's 4 feet where you can slide in plywood and sheetrock. I'm not that sure. Even if that's 4 feet, I didn't measure it. But if you guys know, leave a comment below and let me know if you could actually put sheetrock and material in there like that. You could easily carry a lot of material in this truck, because this does have a pretty good suspension, and you could upgrade it to a heavier duty suspension. The only thing is you're going to get a harder ride. So the more sturdier suspension, the harder the ride. So closing it. So if we come around, you see the car's been, like, you know, beat up with rocks and kicked, and this was the side that was damaged, but it was fixed, and it was a long time that this car was damaged, and it's been repaired, because, you know, I looked at the pictures online. I'll try to post it. You'll see this whole side was damaged. So whoever fixed it, they did a good job, and it was a long time ago, because you can see here how the clear coat is peeling off, and this paint has completely vanished, but there's no rust, which is a good thing. You know, again, this mirror too is you know, folds in and out. And if we open the door, see, I have to do it manually. It's not power, so let me open the door. Let me see. Okay, so now the door's open. So the only bad rust is right here. This is the worst spot. There's something here but it's not rusted all the way through, so you could just sand that down, prime it, and paint it white, and you're good. And the same thing here, you know, I plan on doing that, just taking all this off, getting the rust off, priming it, painting it with a good enamel spray paint, maybe get a can of clear and fix that up. So you can see the sill here is still in great shape, and I haven't cleaned this car, and you can see how much water was in here and all the dirt. You know, I don't know if I'm going to take the seats out and clean this or leave the seats in and clean it up. So it's not a bad place to be. You know, looking at it from here, from this point of view, it's not that bad of a place to be. Again, you know, you have roll down windows and manual locks. So if you close this door is in better shape than the driver's door. So you can hear that door's in good condition, you know, versus the driver's door closed a little, not as good, not as solid. That's because of somebody coming in and out of that, leaning on it and putting pressure on the door hinges. It makes the door loose. Thanks for watching the video. Take care and peace out.